All right, y'all. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J is live. We in the building. About to have an outstanding show, y'all, like we do every single Monday night, live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. It is the dawn of Black History Month, so you know we're going to have some conversation about that. It is also the day after the NFL championship game. Some of y'all call it the Super Bowl. We got to talk about that. The president and the vice president both said something interesting. We're going to talk about that. And we have some newcomers in the room. We're going to talk about that. You're listening to the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. It's called Ain't No Hashtag with Marcus J. That's me, y'all. It's live. It's right now.
It's about that time. It's about that time to get. Yeah.
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half-Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying, then they must be half-stepping. Ain't no half-stepping on Marcus J is live. We in the building. Be down with us tonight at 804-402-2893. Be part of the flagship show. Heard live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody who is part of tonight's discussion. We're thanking those folks that are checking us out on TuneIn and on Streamer and on legacyinternetradio.com, stream licensing, and all of our friends and affiliates, those folks that are checking us out on Facebook Live right now. It's a lot going on. We're thanking everybody. We got some special guests with us. I'm going to take a walk around the room and get everybody properly introduced. First person up, I'm going to introduce a brother of mine. He called me up. He said, yo, I listen to you every single week, and I want to rock with you. I said, come on and rock with me. His name is Big Mike. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's happening? How you doing?
Good, man. It's good to see you in the room.
Glad to be here, brother.
Yeah, you ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
Ready to talk some craziness?
All day.
That's what I'm talking about. Also making his debut in the room tonight, you hear him on his internet radio show across town, across the state, across the world. We got the host of the Couch Coach Live, our brother Couch Coach himself. What's up, Coach?
I'm good, man. Appreciate you having me here.
Word.
And a glorious day here.
It's an outstanding day, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to see you in the room, brother. It's good to see you in the room.
Good to be here. Good to be seen.
Yeah, and as a host of a sports show,
Yeah.
you already know where we're going once I get everybody
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you hear this brother join the show when he feel like it. He comes on the third Monday is his normal week. Today ain't third Monday, and he here because I'm his little brother. He's my big brother Joe. What up, man?
You.
What's going on?
What's good with you?
Chillaxing,
Always.
doing our thing.
Yeah, testosterone in the room, man.
Yeah, man.
This is a real
This
man
is
cave.
the he-man-woman haters club.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you're a woman, and you better be real, like be able to hold your own. You know,
Yeah.
some alpha males up in
Yeah.
this joint, some lions in here, and I appreciate it. So it's good to have you. Of course, last but not least, making his second visit to the Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J airwaves, but his first time live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. My brother, my mentor, Mr. Brian Evans. What's up, man?
What is going on, my brother?
It's good to see you, man.
It is good to be here. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited and ready to get this party underway.
My brother, look at you trying to be all proper and stuff. That ain't how you was talking in the break.
Exactly. Oh my God.
That ain't how you was talking.
What are these guys talking about?
Yeah. Of course. And whatnot. We're already getting some love in social media, hitting us up. He's usually here in the building with us, but he is, of course, checking us out through our Facebook Live. He is our utility player, make sure everybody is good. He ain't making sure we good tonight, but he did stock the fridge. So I guess he did his part, Mr. 3375. We love you, brother. See you back in the den.
Peace, dude.
When it's time for you to come back to the den. And so I'm going to get right to it. We used to be a sports show, and we're all equipped to have this conversation. You got some lions in the room who want to talk about this game. And so I'm just going to go around the room and give everybody an opportunity to say their thoughts. I'm going to start first. I was very clear about the hateration that was part of my spirit with this game. I did not want to see anybody who had a bunch of chips get another chip. And so I didn't even worry about looking at the stats and analyzation and none of that kind of stuff. Once I saw who the participants was, now first of all, I never, ever, ever root for a team that's not my team. I'm a Giants fan. If you're not the Giants, then I'm not rooting for you. But I will openly root against you. And I openly rooted against the New England Patriots because Patriots, the Cowboys, the Steelers, Green Bay, teams like that are close in chips to my team, I just didn't want to see it. And it would have been real dope for Atlanta to win. And so that's where I was hoping this game would have went. So we can get to the analyzation here in a minute, but I want everybody's initial pick and initial thoughts. Then we're going to open up the discussion. Big Mike, when you was looking at the pregame yesterday at 5:58 before the game started, where was your head?
Wishfully thinking that the Falcons could pull this thing off.
Did you think that they would?
I was skeptical.
Yeah.
It's Belichick and Brady.
Yeah.
So I ended up picking.
Right.
I said I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
That's all you could really do is go ahead and pick. All right, so we got 5 lions in the room. We have 2 who were going with Atlanta. Big bro, where were you at?
Joe, you know I was going with Atlanta. You already know.
Yeah.
Everybody who know me, and I'm a Cowboys fan. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a whole gamut of NFC East around here tonight, but
yeah.
there's no way in the world I could root for Brady. I don't like New England Patriots team as a whole.
Right.
Some of the players I kind of get down with. You know who I really don't like on that team? Martellus Bennett, because he was a traitor and he left. He ain't do nothing with us.
This dude played for everybody. He played for us too.
Yeah, but he played with us first.
Yeah. we gonna go around the room. B, where was your head at yesterday before the game? B, who was you thinking about?
I'm a Dolphin fan, first off, so I don't like anything New England Patriot at all. So when I watched the pregame, I was like Atlanta. When I watched the during game, I was like Atlanta. And when the game was over, I was like Atlanta. What the
exactly.
WTF. But I have my own thoughts about that. I'm not a conspiracy type of guy, but something wasn't right about that game, and I'm going to stick with that answer right there. Atlanta was the better team. I want to say that New England was garbage that night, and that was the night that they were supposed to lose, but they didn't. So
damn, that's a lot of hate, man.
Hey, spoken like a true Miami Dolphins fan.
So Coach, where was you at?
I was, of course, I'm a Redskin fan. I'm a big fan of Kyle Shanahan. I've always held him in high regard. I was had a very, good rooting interest for him. Atlanta was all. I definitely thought Atlanta was going to, take care of business. I thought they were, probably one of the most prolific offensive teams that I've seen this season. So I definitely my money would have been on Atlanta.
Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, Big Mike, we just went 5 for 5.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room had
all
Atlanta
lost money in Vegas.
for different reasons. Just real quick, a couple of you guys already did it. We're just going to shout our teams out so that we can see the depth of our hatred.
Yeah.
Team.
I'm a Ravens fan, sir.
Team.
Cowboy.
Team.
Washington Redskins.
Team.
Miami Dolphins.
New York Football Giants. So we all have different alliances. I will start off by saying that the Patriots have never beaten the Giants in the Super Bowl. I will say that, but the Ravens have beaten the Giants in the Super Bowl. So, all right, Mike, let's start it off with you, man. You watched the game. What you see? What did you see in the game, man?
The one thing I noticed that really sort of frustrated me was when Atlanta stopped running the ball in the second half for no apparent reason, and they just felt like they were gonna take and polish up their superstar MVP, Matt Ryan, and like let him just continue to eat, you know. And Belichick's, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And that was just shocking to me.
Coach, what'd you see, man?
I piggyback on Big Mike. Pretty much like the whole situation in the second half. The whole situation with they're not running the ball. They did a great job with Tevin Coleman on the ground, and then it's just amazing how, and this happens every year too, when the breaks, because we didn't see Matt Ryan for an hour. Pretty much.
Yeah, it was like hour. I think it was hour and 10.
Yeah. And then when you had that type of offense going, and then you stop like that, I mean, it's amazing how they went from, scoring on every possession to being ice cold. But then the clock management killed me because, and I was so disappointed in Kyle Shanahan because I would think he would know better at this stage. When you are in a predicament like that, like you need to run the ball, even if you get few chunks of yards here and there, just kill the clock. Because you were at a point where New England was hitting nothing. I mean, they was even missing extra points. You were getting pressure on Brady.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, even the defense even softened up. Because he was just picking them apart in the second half.
Yeah. We get a shout out from our sister Michelle K checking us out here on Facebook Live. Shout out to you, sis. I appreciate you. She said the game just irritated me. She's so over Tom Brady. She is an unhappy Steelers fan. My sister Madrika is checking us out. Madrika says that she is a Redskins fan, HTTR. I'm guessing that means hail to the Redskins.
Hail to the Redskins.
So shout out to you, sister. I appreciate you checking us out as well. B, when you watched the game, you see anything that jumped out to you, man? Anything jump out to you as you watching?
Yeah, the same thing everybody else said. I mean, but my biggest gripe with it was time management. I mean, you're up by 25 points. Second half of the game, literally we're running into the fourth quarter and you're up by that many points, and you go 3 and out like habitually. Like when you're a coach, like I know they learned this in like Pop Warner football, that if you're up by that much points, you still try to score touchdowns, but you also run the clock out. Why would we go into the air? I'm not going to say we because I'm not an Atlanta fan, but why are you going to the air to give Tom Brady a chance to come back in the game? One of the reasons why they got a pick 6 was because you were still throwing the football in the sky versus it almost reminded me of the Seattle game that we had 3 times to run into end zone and you want to go to the air and give them an opportunity to win the game. Why do you, with the same team, might I add.
Yeah, because Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is the head coach. He was the defensive coordinator.
Why are we doing this?
I saw your reaction, Mike. Why did you react that way physically? I saw you kind of perk up when he said that.
Dan Quinn was the coach in Seattle when they did this with Russell Wilson.
Right.
And he went and had the same philosophy.
Right.
And they could have run the ball 3 times, kicked the field goal, been up.
Easily.
That would have been the nail on the coffin, in my opinion.
But you got, baby.
You know me, I'm sitting there looking at the one thing that I watched was, like you said, if you're running the ball, your quarterback isn't making that stupid fumble.
Right.
Because if you pass it off to the person who knows how to protect that ball, you don't get clobbered. And he took a heck of a hit.
That was vicious. Here's what I thought about that, man. It's like this. You up 25 points, and I watched the game here. I was in this room. We had just finished doing Twi After Dark. Shout out to the folks on that show, Sunday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Shameless plug. But we were here in this room watching the game, and I remember thinking to myself, this game is over. Like, why are we even staying here? You know what I mean? When the only reason why we stayed late because the game was on. So we watching it, and it's 25 points, a wrap. I'm looking at social media, and all the Atlanta fans is wilding, acting crazy, you know what I mean, talking just cash money, as they say in the hood. And all of a sudden, score. All of a sudden, score. All of a sudden, score. Now, you had to know that Tom Brady and the New England Patriots weren't going to go 4 quarters without scoring a touchdown. They made it 3.5 quarters without scoring a touchdown. So you saw that it was coming. But here's the moment of the game for me. The moment of the game for me is when you are 3rd and 1 from the 28-yard line. You're in field goal range.
Yes.
You could kick it at 3rd and 1. Nobody does that. But just follow me. You could have kicked it then if you wanted to. You could. Just not doing it on 3rd down, but just making a point.
Yeah.
You run it one more time, even if you take a loss of a yard or two, you're still dealing with less than a 50-yard field goal.
Right.
That now you go up by 2 scores, and you have run out some more clock because you figure even if you don't run out the clock, they're burning timeouts because they had New England had 2 timeouts at that moment. Right. So if you want to stop the clock, you burn both of them. Right. Now they got to run out, no timeouts. Right. And they got to score. And they got to score twice.
And what threw me off big time was, for some odd reason, Atlanta didn't use the clock appropriately. Yeah. I felt like they were the team that was behind. Yeah. Which they were, they didn't, slow the clock down, slow the game down.
They played scared.
Scared, and I'm like, you can't in that predicament, you can't do that.
One thing BB and I, Big Bro Joe and I talk about all the time. We watching not just football, but when we watch sports, we don't like bad sports. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's a Cowboys fan, I'm a Giants fan. We watch games together, and one thing that we don't do is we don't mess with each other while we watching the game together. We watch it as football fans. We talk trash later, but when we watching the game, it's not like, oh, I hate the Cowboys, I hate the Giants. We just don't do that to each other. We don't like bad sports. Right. If you get beat, you get beat.
You get beat.
Right. Yeah. Right. But you can't be cute. Mike, they was trying to be cute. 3rd and 1.
Somebody messed with Matt Ryan's headphone.
That hit.
He couldn't hear.
That hit.
Something was going on, man.
He had a concussion.
All of a sudden, my man had no communication.
You go in
saw
there?
that too.
He had no communication.
I wanted to peep that. He ran to the sideline because he was like,
they had to get him another helmet.
They gave him another helmet.
Yeah.
So the MVP of the league doesn't know that he should be running the ball, really?
Right. No, not saying that, but I'm just saying, if we're going to throw out some conspiracy
I'm going to throw one out for you. I'm going to throw one out for you, Coach.
Belichick could have won it.
Coach, I'm going to throw one out for you.
Okay.
Did you see the touchdown at the end of the game that won?
His knees was down.
His knee was down at the 2-yard line.
His knee was down.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen that.
But did you see all the confetti and everything blew? And then everybody ran out to the field.
At that moment.
Right.
At that moment. But it was funny to me because if you watched Brady's reaction, Brady was trying to tell everybody, get back off the field.
He knew.
He was worried about the penalty that they could have got. But
the penalty wouldn't have mattered, but I think he knew that the guy didn't cross the plane.
But what I mean about the penalty, if they would have gotten the penalty, if everybody rushed out on that field, New England would have caught the penalty. They would have backed them up.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So basically, if he is in fact down, and he doesn't get the touchdown, and they run on the field, they catch a 15-yarder. Yep. So instead of the half line, now they at the 15 and a half line. Right. I got you now. Okay, I didn't even think about that.
Right. Yeah,
I
good football.
That's a very good point. Let's jump off the field for a minute and let's go and have a little football Super Bowl gossip for a second. Did anybody hear that Tom Brady's jersey got jacked out the locker room after the game? Somebody. Coach, you heard it? Tell the story. Tell it as you know it.
It was because, matter of fact, they actually in the locker room, it was him and Robert Kraft, and they had it in subtitles, and they were like, "Well, I can't find my jersey," and Robert Kraft was like, "Well, look for it on the internet."
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Did you hear about it, Mike?
I heard about it. I didn't know Robert Kraft was throwing.
I saw Bob and Tom talking about it, and I saw that clip, and I was like, "Word." So, B, as a football fan, let's say that's Dan Marino whose jersey got jacked at the end of the game. What you saying as a fan? Like, do you care? Is it care?
Where can I find that jersey at? I'm trying to copy it.
So I can burn it.
If it's a Dan Marino jersey, he said Dan Marino.
Well, I said that because you a Dolphins fan.
I don't want Tom Brady.
Did he ever win a Super Bowl? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, he didn't. No. But we don't team that went perfect. So everybody just heist real quick until somebody else goes perfect.
1972.
Hey, don't even matter. It's in the history.
Only one of us was born, and he wasn't even born on that Super Bowl.
Listen, all the schematics that y'all throwing out here mean nothing. Like I said, the only perfect team ever to walk the face of the earth is the Miami Dolphins, and we're gonna keep on popping champagne.
You really gonna do that though?
That's the only thing we got to hold on to. Don't take my joy away from me. Like that's all I got. That's all I got. Come on down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do.
I'm at a point.
They done broke all Dan Marino's records.
Let's roll call. Super Bowl championships. How many?
Dose.
How many?
5.
How many?
3.
How many?
2.
4. All right.
Can I add,
hold up.
can I add
Super
an
Bowl what?
emphasis? Can I add a little emphasis? Because I had three Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks.
All right. I can dig that. You know,
So have we.
But you know what, though? There's only one team in the league, in the room, that has more than 4 league championships. See, this is the argument that I always like to have and the fun that I have, Coach. Because I think Coach knows where I'm going.
Yeah.
The New York Giants have 8 championships.
Yeah.
The reason why they have 8 because they had football, surprisingly, before they gave it a fancy name.
Yeah, that's when they had leather
That
helmets.
just means the Giants
That's when your boy Frank
Giants
Gifford was toting that route.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you something. Anybody who ever wants to utter the name Jim Brown to me, better give me my 4 chips. You better don't even talk to me about Jim Brown unless I can have my 4 championships prior to the Super Bowl.
With you anymore.
You can't.
Right.
I hate hearing that.
Like, yo, it's been 20 years since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, an NFC champion.
I mean, it's real. It's
difficult. It's difficult to get to that point.
But who cares about a
But
championship? That's like a good second place person. Like, you're good at being in second place. Buffalo is great at being second place. But we talking about winners. Like, first off, let's talk about undefeated winners. And
Really
everybody, I just want y'all to take note.
You see what he doing?
That's all we got.
You see
I'm
what he
just
doing?
curious. Is there anybody out there who is not a Redskin,
See, he
a
doing
Giant,
that. He doing that. You saw what he did.
Fighting words.
or
Hey, don't talk about the Dolphins. We ain't did nothing to nobody.
Dolphin? We know you ain't
We
getting
ain't hurt nobody feelings. Like, we ain't did
Give us
nothing
a
to
call,
nobody.
man. Holla at us, 804-402-2893
Yes, sir.
to get a part of this. Because I know there's some people out there. Yo, I know Stacy's over there right now. She's checking us out on Facebook Live. Yo, she's checking us out. There's a whole lot of folks. Chantel's checking us out in the QC. You got Virginia's checking us out over in Richmond, in the Chesterfield area. There's a few more folks on there, folks. I'm going to get to you a little bit later on. Yo, I see a Ravens fan right here. You know, he proud to be a Ravens fan. Proud to be a Ravens fan. So why don't y'all give us a call and tell us who y'all like, or tell us what y'all think about that garbage. Do you think Trump has something to do with it?
Ooh. Well, speaking of the president, I'm gonna ask Coach this question, and I want everybody to kind of go around the room with it. Coach, we heard Martellus Bennett, Super Bowl champion tight end for the New England Patriots, has decided that he does not want to go to the White House to meet the president when the team goes. What's your thoughts on that?
He has that right. And we've actually, it's funny how we can talk about this as a story, but when Tom Brady didn't go in 2014 to see President Obama, it was swept under the rug.
Right.
We were just so embellished in the Deflategate story that we even forgot about that detail.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when people make this kind of decision, people of color usually are the ones who are, paid more attention to. I don't know if everybody remembers when Craig Hodges decided that he wasn't going to go to the White House to meet with George Bush after the Chicago Bulls won one of their many championships. He ended up getting blacklisted, and he wasn't able to resume his career in the NBA because of it. And of course nobody's going to say that's what the deal was, but this is during the same period that Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, formerly known as Chris Jackson, was praying while they was saluting the flag, and we know what happened to him. Like, this dude had a 99% from the free throw line. This dude is legendary, and he gets blacklisted.
And Craig Hodges was the same way, because remember, back then he was the 3-time defending three-point champion.
Yep.
I mean, he was, I don't know the percentage, but I know he was, as far as three-point shooters, he was like prolific. I mean, he pretty much belonged like the modern-day Cal Corver.
Yeah, I think he ended up winning at least one of the three-point shootouts. I can't remember if he won more than one.
Because I know he won in 91, like the last one he was in, of course, until he got, exiled, unfortunately.
So
exile.
Well, NBA exile.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, we listen at the strong verbiage. Exile. Exile from playing basketball because you didn't want to go see the president of the United States.
Isn't that crazy, though?
No, it ain't crazy. That's the world we live in.
I struggle with it, though. I struggle with it because...
Talk to me.
I felt like it was an affront to President Obama when several people, whether it was hockey or whether it was, Brady or whoever, decide they don't want to go.
Yeah.
So now I'm struggling because I'm not a fan of the current administration.
Right.
Necessarily.
So you don't want to be a hypocrite.
It's hard for me, man. I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Respect the office.
Yeah, respect the office.
Respect the
because
office.
right now, I used to get really upset when people called him Obama.
Oh yeah.
Right? So now I have got to stand on my own 2 feet and call him President Trump.
Yeah.
Rather than just Trump.
Well, I will say your president.
But you know what? I'm glad you said that. Though. I'm actually glad you said that. I don't want to get too deep into the Trump stuff because we're talking about that in the next segment.
Okay.
But I will say this. I 100% agree with you because I came to that conclusion during President Bush's administration because I personally liked George Bush and I thought he was a miserable president. I thought he was the worst president in my lifetime.
You talking about Junior?
I'm talking about W. Yeah, the second one. The first one. I was basically in my latter stages of high school, so I really don't remember him that well. I mean, I graduated high school his last year in office. So Bill Clinton was the first president that I really can say that I knew. And of course, his successor was President Bush. And I remember thinking, I kind of like this dude. I just did, and I caught some heat for it at the time. But I was also very clear that I thought he was a miserable president. I just thought he was a terrible president. And I made a point of always calling him President Bush. And so I was very sensitive when people just called him Obama. And it was a way that sometimes they would say Obama.
Right.
They wouldn't even pronounce Obama right, Obama or whatever it was that
Or
they could say.
Mr. Obama.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so
Osama bin Laden. I mean, Osama
Obama. Yeah, I used to hear that one a lot too. And so I found myself correcting folks during the President Obama administration. And even now, I know that the feelings are hot for President Trump. So folks don't want to, I don't really have the energy to go around correcting folks with regards to that. But I've personally made it plain, and anybody that is kind of around me that respects my opinion is going to hear me say, his name is President Trump. Whether you like it or not, like we call him illegitimate president, all of that kind of stuff, that's just you crying in your beer, really. So, but we're gonna talk more. We're gonna talk more about that in the next segment. Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J. Live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio, 804-402-2893. You got the debut of our brother Big Mike, the coach, as well as my brother and mentor B, Brian Evans, up in this room, and Joe. So we're gonna move on and talk about one more thing with regards to the Super Bowl. Y'all watch the halftime show?
That garbage.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you something, right? Anybody that knows me knows I always wanted to fly. So when this girl jumped off the roof,
that was kind of
like,
cool.
Word.
I was a little worried too.
I was like, word, because we was in here, and when she was standing there, like everybody in the room was like, yo, she gonna jump. And when she jumped off that joint and did I was like, yo, like,
I was like, is Peter Pan?
But the first thing I said was, I hope she don't Owen Hart that joint.
Right. I know.
Yeah, man, I don't mean to be disrespectful to the Hart family, but that's what happened to Owen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't need no. Super Bowl has had technical difficulties with wardrobes. We don't need them with wires.
And that happened in Houston as well.
Was that in Houston?
Yeah,
that
was Houston. Yeah, that was Houston. That was the New England Carolina Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's crazy. So I mean, I'm one of those people, like, I'm not a fan or not fan, whatever the opposite of fan is. Like, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. Lady Gaga, I think what she does is outstanding, but I'm just not somebody that's going to run out to her concert or buy her records and stuff. Like, I appreciate Lady Gaga. Like, I think she's dope, and I think when I saw her outside of the theatrics, and I saw her with one of the greatest singers in the history of music, Tony Bennett, and they got a duet album together, and you hear her actually sing without the stuff. Just sing, and she's singing with Tony Bennett. Right. And it was a dude in the room last night who I can't remember, he was either in his late teens or early 20s, and he was tripping off of Lady Gaga, and I told the story of Tony Bennett, and he just kind of gave me the blank stare. Like, you all know who Tony Bennett is.
Usually now you thinking the head coach University of Virginia.
Yeah, but, yeah, how about that? Yeah.
I mean, well,
You know, the closest that I can give him was Frank Sinatra, and he still was blank staring me. So,
You didn't know who Frank was?
Before his time. Before his time.
Yeah, it's before his time, man. Yeah, right.
No,
How about
Drake.
it? I don't know why he thought he was gonna get drank up in. No, but anyway,
The problem that Lady Gaga had.
y'all got it, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason why nobody was fascinated with Lady Gaga is because she performed after the great Beyonce.
Yeah.
And Beyonce's halftime show was just so amazing. 2 times, might I add, because she did 2 of them. The first time she did it, the power cut off. That was so amazing that the Super Bowl got prolonged another whole hour because the show was just that hot.
You know what's crazy about that, B? Because apparently Lady Gaga has a song with Beyonce that she did last night, and Beyonce wasn't there in her hometown. Might be because she's with child, but she's supposed to do some big time concert coming up in a few months. That she'll probably be 7-8 months at the time of that concert, and everybody. I don't know the name of it. I'm sure one of the listeners might. 804-402-2893. Michelle K is reminding us that the Steelers have 6 chips. When we were talking about our chips earlier, she's reminding us that the Steelers have 6 chips. Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate that and whatnot. One more thing that I want to get to before we move on to some other stuff in the next segment. Kind of, sort of presidential, but not really. Did anybody see President Bush out there at the game?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I actually got emotional because Trump is so horrible. I was like, yes, this is a president right here.
Right.
Everybody stand up.
But you know,
You can't believe that.
This is where I'm going, big bro. That's where I'm going. The memes with this, how this dude gonna tell the president that he can't come to an inauguration because him and his wife finna die.
Yeah, dying.
That's one of the memes. But they up at the Super Bowl, tossing coins and stuff.
The internet is undefeated.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you something.
Wow.
The internet has no chill.
Right.
Ain't got no filter, bro.
No, because that meme that said, with a picture of President Trump, that said y'all coming to the inauguration, and right next to it is a picture of them in the hospital saying, "We about to die."
He looking like Lucius from Empire.
Boy, that joke was so funny on the hospital when Lucius. That's right. When Lucius about to die. Oh my God, that joke was so funny, man. I thought I was gonna crack up. I'm gonna tell you something. Like you said, the internet never loses, man.
Yeah, man.
It's like Father Time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time. All right. One last thing. I know I keep saying one last thing, but I do have one last thing. When we look at, and this is a quarterback question. I'll go back to football for just a minute. Not specifically the game, but more about legacy, since at Legacy Internet Radio, that's something that's important to us. Joe, you up first. When we're looking at quarterbacks, we know that in certain sports, there's certain positions that is the face of that position.
Yes.
Maybe the point guard in basketball. Well, point guard used to be, and center used to be. Now it's everybody. So let me not use that analogy. We know football is synonymous with the quarterback. Let me just stick to football instead of corny analogies. When we look at the legacy of Tom Brady, is he the greatest quarterback in the history of football? And if you want to say yes, you can. If you want to say no, I'll give you 2 other guys who we can throw in there. We'll use that parameter. Let's have a conversation. Now, the only caveat is the only quarterbacks that I want to hear you even mention a name, they have to have won a Super Bowl. They have to have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well.
So because a lot of people, with respect to B, a lot of people want to throw Dan Marino in that conversation, but he's never won a Super Bowl, so it's hard for us to do that. So purpose of this discussion, is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback in NFL history? You're up first, Joe. What's your thoughts?
As much as I don't want to fix my mouth to say this, I have to give it up to him. I have to 5. 5. Not somebody else got 5.
He has 5.
Has 5 Super Bowl rings under the same coach in the span of his career. He set a record last night. He spotted them 25 points.
Yeah.
He spotted them 25 points and came back and won by 6.
Yeah.
Come on, 28, 32.
Yeah, 6.
Come on, man.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really? So as much as my mouth hurts to form it, as a football fan first. Tom Brady, he's the best quarterback that you've seen.
I'm gonna, like I'm saying, I'm like you. I say yes, but I gotta preface it though. And I always used to say it was Joe Montana. And I look at it from the standpoint nowadays, and let's take all the scandal and this, that, and third, just looking at the body of work. And this, when you think about it, and especially now in this free agent era, this is amazing what he's doing. Back then, it was easier to do that because you had more continuity. You had, your main pieces always stayed there.
Right.
He's had revolving door. I mean, Deion Branch was one of his receivers at one time. He has guys we've never heard of that can just come off the street, and he's throwing touchdown passes them in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like you said, he with 5 Super Bowls with one coach. That never happens. Coaches don't even last 5 years in this league anymore.
Yeah.
So I in this era, definitely, and I think even all time, because this, what he's doing, it's never gonna happen.
Brian, what you think, man?
As a Miami Dolphin fan,
make sure you keep getting that in, huh?
I have to say, regrettably, that Brady is the greatest that's ever done it, and then the fact that he's not even retired yet, and he's still playing football, and he said he's got 5 more seasons. So the record, that's what he's saying right now. But still, listen, he got hit pretty bad, and he still threw up, enough to beat them by 6, and it's just like, it's amazing. But like you said, in free agency, that's amazing. I mean, he had Randy Moss on his team, and they got rid of him, and he's like, whatever. Listen.
Right.
I could come to New England and play on a football team with Tom Brady and score some touchdowns. That's how good Tom Brady is right now, and I'm in a wheelchair. And I can't catch, but he'll hit me in my bread basket, and I'm going to the end zone on y'all all day. So just being a Dolphin fan saying this, this is real. Tom Brady, he smoked Favre, and here's the other thing: he's broken every record. The only record he's got left to be is to be the oldest quarterback, and he's at 40 now. And if he keeps on playing, he's going to even take Brett Favre as being the oldest quarterback in the NFL to do this. So what record is there left for him to break?
Which guy, Coach?
Yeah, and to circle that around, because you got to think about it, that is the only Hall of Fame receiver that he will have in his career. We don't have like Montana. You don't have a Jerry Rice, and you had pretty much Randy Moss in the twilight of his career.
Yeah, right.
And not for long.
And not even long.
Yeah, not even long enough.
What's your thoughts on the question, Mike? Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. It's hard to say it because I don't like the Patriots.
Me either.
They knock us out the playoffs just about every time we get knocked out. It's either them or Pittsburgh. So I have vitriol in my heart for both of them.
Right.
But I do have a question as to what would Belichick be without Brady, and what would Brady be without Belichick?
That's a good question.
That's the only thing
we'll never know.
We'll never
know. That's the only thing,
what sparked this question? I was listening to another show, and this question came up, so I wanted to bring it to our crew, and I'll just take the final word on this one. When you look at certain people who have rings, a lot of times people get caught up in the number of rings and they're trying to apply greatness to that. Like, Karl Malone doesn't have any rings. I'm going to go to basketball for a second. This time I'm not going to mess up the analogy. Karl Malone does not have rings, but Robert Horry has 6. So who you think is the better player? You know what I mean? So when you look at the NFL and you look at Super Bowls, Joe Montana is dope. He ain't never lost a Super Bowl. He's 4-0 in a Super Bowl. But Tom Brady went to 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Right.
He went to 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of people that say that LeBron and people in that generation will never catch Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan never lost in the NBA Finals. He went 6-0, and a lot of people are still dreaming about the greatness of Michael Jordan. No matter who they see coming after him, they'll never be as good as Michael Jordan. But if LeBron goes out and wins the next 6 chips and he goes 8-3, will he have a chance then to be better than Jordan? Will Jordan still be the best because he's got 6-0? So that takes me back to the Montana and Brady argument, because I heard a guy that was making the argument for Joe Montana, and I was like, I can dig it, but I can't dig it. I can dig it, but I can't dig it. And when you look at, when you look at the bus he was driving it. He wasn't riding the bus.
Yeah.
He's driving the bus.
Right.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. As hard it is for all of us in here to say it, because we've all, except for me, because I beat him in the Super Bowl twice. But for the most part, of course I'm going to take that. You kidding me?
Yeah, of course
I'm going to take that. But in all seriousness, how do you watch a dude go to the Super Bowl as the bus driver 7 times?
Right.
Who goes to the Super Bowl 7 times?
Right.
As great as Dan Marino was, he went once.
I know. Don't keep.
I'm going to Dan, but I'm going to Dan because he's universally known as the greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's no other quarterback as great as him that never won a Super Bowl. I mean, Terry Bradshaw got 4 chips.
Yeah. Ain't that some mess?
Yeah. So, that is what it is. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Going to take our first break of the night. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the acknowledgement of Black History Month by none other than Vice President Mike Pence. We'll talk about what he said. We'll talk about some comments from President Trump. And we're going to ask who President Trump respects. You're listening to the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. It's called Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. We are live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Taking a break. Be back in a few.
Legacy Internet Radio. It's your girl, the First Lady, comedianess, Lissa P. Ow, ow! Make sure you're tuned in to the #1 internet radio station around, Legacy Internet Radio. Be sure to check out our website at www.legacyinternetradio.com, or you can download the free TuneIn app. Go to the search, type in Legacy Internet Radio, and there you'll have us. Legacy Internet Radio, where independence is the key to building your legacy. Ow, ow!
Tired of wearing that same old raggedy t-shirt to group events, civic, and work situations? Then why don't you check out our folks, Live Action Captions. They offer t-shirt services here in the Richmond and Tri-City area, offering multicolored, direct-to-garment printing at an affordable price. Guess what? No charge for changing colors for a design either. Pick and choose whatever you want out of the rainbow. No minimums at all. Discounts at 25 or more. If you'd like to rock one of these hot shirts that we here at Legacy Internet Radio do, then you can get with Live Action Captions at 804-640-7180. Again, that's 804-640-7180. And for all the folks who don't like to use the telly, we got it on the internet at live-action-captions at comcast.net. Again, live-action-captions at comcast.net, and at that same title on Facebook and Instagram. No need to worry about it shrinking. We got you covered. Live Action Captions.